Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Daniel 7 to 12, Proverbs 27, and Psalm 34. Let's get started. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel saw a dream and visions of his head as he lay in his bed. Then he wrote down the dream and told the son of the man. Daniel declared, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven were stirring up the great sea, and four great beasts came up out of the sea. Different from one another. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. Then as I looked, its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted up from the ground and made to stand on 2 feet like a man. And the mind of a man was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second one, like a bear. It was raised up on one side. It had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. And I was told, arise, devour much flesh. After this I looked, and behold, another, like a leopard, with 4 wings of a bird on its back. And the beast had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, terrifying and dreadful, and exceedingly strong. It had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another horn, a little one, before which 3 of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. And behold, this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. As it looked, thrones were placed, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was white as snow, and the hair of his brow was like pure wool. Its thrones were fiery flames, and its wheels were burning fire. A stream of fire issued and came out from before him. 1,000 thousands served him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. And the court sat in judgment, and the books were opened. As I looked to the end because of the sound of the great words that the horn must speak. As I looked, the beast was killed, and its body destroyed and given over to be burned with fire. As for the rest of the beasts, their dominion was taken away, for their lives were prolonged for a season at a time. And I saw in the night vision, and behold, with the clouds of heaven, there came one like a son of man. He came to the Ancient of Days, and was presented before him, and was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, and all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion. It shall not pass away, and his kingdom one that shall not be destroyed. As for me, Daniel, my spirit within me was anxious, and the visions of my head alarmed me. I approached one of those who stood here and asked him the truth concerning all this. He told me and made known to me the interpretation of the things. These 4 great beasts are 4 kings who shall rise out of the earth, but the saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. And I desired to know the truth about the 4th beast, which was different from all the rest, exceedingly terrifying, with his teeth of iron and claws of bronze, which devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet. And it devoured the 10 horns that were on its head, and the other horn that came up, and before which 3 of them fell, the horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke great things, and that seemed greater than its companions. And as I looked, this horn made war with the saints and prevailed over them, until the Ancient of Days came. And judgment was given for the saints of the Most High, and the time came when the saints possessed the kingdom. And he said, as for the 4th beast, there shall be a 4th kingdom on the earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms. It shall devour the whole earth, and trample it down, and break it to pieces. As for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings shall rise, and another shall rise after them. He shall be different from the former ones, and shall put down 3 kings. He shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the times and the law, and they shall be given into his hand for a time, times and half a time. And the court shall sit in judgment, and his dominion shall be taken away, to be consumed and destroyed to the earth. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. His kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. Here is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my thoughts greatly alarmed me, and my color changed. I kept the matter in my heart. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared to me, Daniel, after that which appeared to me at the first. And I saw in the vision, and when I saw, I was in Susa the citadel. which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in the vision, and I was at the Ulai cattle. I raised my eyes and saw, and behold, a ram standing on the bank of the canal. And he had 2 horns, and both horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher one came up last. And I saw the ram charging westward and northward and southward. No beast could stand before him, and there was no one who could rescue from his power. He did as he pleased and became grey. And I was considering, behold, a male goat came from the west across the face of the whole earth, without touching the ground. And the goat had a conspicuous horn between his eyes. He came to the ram with the 2 horns, and I seen standing on the bank, and he was enraged against it, and struck the ram and broke him to his 2 horns. And the ram had no power to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and trampled on it. And there was no one who could rescue the ram from his power. And the goat became exceedingly great. And when he was strong, a great horn was broken, and instead of it, there came out 4 conspicuous horns toward the 4 winds of heaven. Out of one of them came a little horn, which grew exceedingly great toward the south, toward the east, and toward the glorious land. It grew great, and even to the host of heaven. And some of the host and some of the stars it threw down to the ground, and trampled on it. It became great, even as great as the prince of the host. And the regular burnt offering was taken away from him, and the place of his sanctuary was overthrown, and the host will be given over it together with the regular burnt offering, because of transgression. And it will throw truth to the ground, and it will act and prosper. And I heard a holy one speaking, and another holy one said to the one who spoke, How long is the vision concerning the regular burnt offering, the transgression that makes desolate, and the giving over of the sanctuary and host to be trampled underfoot? And he said, For 2,300 evenings and mornings, and the sanctuary shall be restored to its rightful state. When I, Daniel, had seen the vision, I sought to understand it, and behold, there stood before me one having the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Ulai, and it called, Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was frightened and fell on my face. And he said to me, Understand, O son, that the vision is for the time of the end. And when he had spoken to me, I fell into a deep sleep with my face to the ground. And he touched me and made me stand up. He said, Behold, I will make known to you what shall be at the latter end of the indignation, for it refers to the appointed time of the end. As for the ram that you saw with the 2 lead horns, these are the kings of Media and Persia, and there goes the king of Greece, and the great horn between his eyes is the first king. As for the horn that was broken, in place of which 4 others arose, 4 kings shall rise from his nation, and not with his power, and at the latter end of their kingdom. When the transgressors have reached their limit, the king of bold face, one who understands riddles, shall arise. His power shall be great, but not by his own power, and he shall cause fearful destruction, and shall succeed in what he does, and destroy mighty men, and the people who are the saints. By his cunning he shall make deceit prosper under his hand, and in his own mind he shall become great. Without warning he shall destroy many, and he shall even rise up against the prince of princes, and he shall be broken, but by no human hand. The vision of the evening and the morning that is being told is true, but seal up the vision, for it refers to many days from now. And I, Daniel, was overcome and lay sick for some days. And I arose and went about the king's business. Now I was appalled by the vision and did not understand. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, Decent a Mede, who was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, perceived in the books the number of years, and according to the word of the Lord to Jeremiah the prophet, was passed before the end of the desolations of Jerusalem, namely 70 years. And I returned my face to the Lord God, seeking him by prayer and pleas for mercy, with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. I prayed to the Lord my God and made confession, saying, O Lord, the great and awesome God, who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments. We have sinned and done wrong, and acted wickedly in rebellion, turning aside from your commandments and rules. We have not listened to your servants the prophets, who spake in your names to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. To you, O Lord, belongs righteousness. To us open shame, as at this day, to the men of Judah, to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to all Israel, those who are near and those who are far away, and all the lands to which you have driven them, because of the treachery that they have committed against you. To us, O Lord, belongs open shame, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against them. The Lord our God be long mercy and forgiveness, for we have rebelled against him, and have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God by walking in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Now Israel has transgressed your law and intends refusing to obey your voice. And the curse and oath that are written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, has been poured out upon us, because we have sinned against him. He has confirmed his words, which he spoke against us and against our rulers, who ruled us, by bringing upon us a great calamity. For under the whole heaven there has not been done anything like that, anything like that, what has been done against Jerusalem. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this calamity has come upon us, yet we have not entreated the favour of the Lord our God, turning from our iniquities and gaining insight by your truth. Therefore the Lord has kept ready the calamity and has brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all the works that he has done, and we have not obeyed his voice. And now the Lord our God, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and have made a name for yourself, as at this day, we have sinned, we have done wickedly. And Lord, according to all your righteous acts, let your anger and your wrath turn away from your city, Jerusalem, your holy hill, because of our sins, and for the iniquities of our fathers. Jerusalem and your holy people have become a byword among all who are around us. Now therefore, O Lord, O our God, listen to the prayer of your servant, and to his plea for mercy, and for your own sake, O Lord, make your face to shine upon your sanctuary, which is desolate. O my God, incline your ear and hear, open your eyes and see our desolations, and the city that is called by your name. We do not present our pleas before you because of the righteous, and because of your greatness. Hear, forgive, O Lord. Pay attention and delay not for your own sake. O my God, because of your city and your people are called by your name. When I was speaking and praying, confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my plea before the Lord my God for the holy hill of the Lord. I was speaking and praying. The man Gabriel, whom I had seen in my vision at the first, came to me in swift flight at the time of the evening sacrifice. He made me understand, speaking with me and saying, O Daniel, I have now come out to give you insight and understanding. At the beginning of your pleas for mercy, your word went out, and I have come to tell it to you, for you are greatly loved. Therefore consider the word and understand the vision. 70 weeks are decreed about your people and your holy city, to finish the transgression, to put an end to sin, and to atone for all iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteous, to seal both vision and prophet, to anoint a most holy place. Know therefore and understand that from the going out of the word to restore and build Jerusalem to the coming of an anointed one, a prince, it shall be 7 weeks, therefore 62 weeks, and it shall be built again with squares and road, but in a troubled time. And after the 62 weeks, an anointed one shall be cut off, and shall have nothing. And he who is the prince who is to come, shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. His end shall come with a flood, and to the end there shall be war. Desolations are decreed, and he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week. And for half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering, and on the wing of abomination shall make out one who makes desolate, until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator. In the 3rd year Cyrus, king of Persia, a word was revealed to Daniel, who was named Belteshazzar, and the word was true, and it was a great conflict, and he understood the word and had understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning for 3 weeks. I ate no delicacy, no meat of wine into my mouth, nor did I anoint myself at all for the full 3 weeks. On the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was standing on the bank of the great river, I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a man clothed in linen, with a belt of fine gold from Alphaz around his waist. And his body was like beryl, his face like the appearance of lightning, his eyes like flaming torches, his arms and legs like the gleam of burnished bronze, and the sound of his words like the sound of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. And for the men who were with me did not see the vision. A great trembling fell upon them, and they fled to hide themselves. So I left alone and saw this great vision, and no strength was left in me. My radiant appearance was fearfully changed, and I retained no strength. And I heard the sound of his words, and as I heard the sound of his words, I fell on my face in deep sleep, with my face to the ground. And behold, a hand touched me and set me trembling on my hands and knees. And he said to me, O Daniel, man greatly loved, understand the words that I speak to you, and stand upright, for now I have been sent to you. And when he had spoken this word to me, I stood up trembling. And he said to me, Fear not, Daniel, for the first day that you have set your heart to understand and humble yourself before your God. Your words have been heard, and I have come because of your words. The prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. When Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, but I was left there with the king of Persia, and came to make you understand what is to happen to the people in the latter days, for the vision for days yet to come. And he had spoken to me according to these words. I turned my face toward the ground, and was me, and behold, in one of the illnesses, likeness of the children of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke. I said to him who stood before me, O my Lord, by reason of the vision, pains have come upon me, and I retain no strength. How can my Lord's servant talk with my Lord? For now no strength remains in me, and no breath is left in me. And again one having the appearance of man touched me and strengthened me. And he said, O man greatly loved, you fear not, peace be with you. Be strong and of good courage. And he spake to me, I will strengthen and say, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. And then he said, Do you know why I have come to you? And now I will return to fight against the prince of Persia. And when I go out, behold, the prince of grace will come. And I will tell you what is inscribed in the book of truth. There is none who contends by my side against these, except Michael, your prince. And as for me, in the first year of Darius the Mede, I stood up to confirm and strengthen him. But now I will show you the truth. Behold, 3 more kings shall arise in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than all of them. And when he has become strong through his riches, he shall stir up against all the kingdom of Greece. And a mighty king shall arise, who shall rule with great dominion, and do as he wills. And as soon as he is arisen, his kingdom shall be broken and divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, but not to his posterity, nor according to the authority with which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be plucked up and go to others besides these. And the king of the south shall be strong, but one of his princes shall be stronger than he, and he shall rule. His authority shall be a great authority. After some years they shall make an alliance, and the daughter of the king of the south shall come to the king of the north and make an agreement. She shall not retain the strength of her arm, and he and his arm shall not endure. And she shall be given up, and her attendants, he who fathered her, and he who supported her in those times. And from a branch from her roots one shall arise in his place. He shall come against the army and enter the fortress of the king of the north. And he shall deal with them, and shall prevail. He shall also carry off to Egypt their gods with their metal images, and their precious vessels of silver and gold. And for some years he shall refrain from attacking the king of the north. And the latter shall come into the realm of the king of the south, but shall return to his own land. His sons shall wage war and assemble a multitude of great forces, which shall keep coming and overflow and pass through, and again shall carry the war as far as his fortress. And the king of the south, moved with rage, shall come out and fight against the king of the north. And he shall raise a great multitude, when it shall be given into his hand. And when the multitude is taken away, his heart shall be exalted, and he shall cast down tens of thousands, and he shall not prevail. And the king of the north shall again raise a multitude greater than the first, and after some years he shall come on with a great army and abundant supplies. In those times many shall rise against the king of the south, and the violent among your own people shall lift themselves up in order to fulfill the vision, and they shall fail. Then the king of the north shall come and throw up siege works and take a well-fortified city, and the forces of the south shall not stand, nor even his best troops, that there shall be no strength to stand. And he who comes against him shall do as he wills, and none shall stand before him. And he shall stand in the glorious land with destruction in his hand. He shall set his face to come with the strength of his whole kingdom. He shall bring terms of an agreement and perform. He shall give him the daughter of woman to destroy the kingdom, and it shall not stand to be to his advantage. Afterward he shall turn his face to the coastlands, and shall capture many of them. And a commander shall put an end to his insolence. Indeed, he shall turn his insolence back on him. Then he shall turn his face back toward the fortresses of his own land, where he shall stumble and fall, and shall not be found. And then shall arise in his place one who shall send an exactor of tribute for the glory of the kingdom. Within a few days he shall be broken, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his place shall arise a contemptible person to whom royal majesty is not being given. He shall come in without warning and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. Armies shall be utterly swept away before him and broken, even the prince of the covenant. And from the time that an alliance is made with him, he shall act deceitfully. and he shall become strong with the small people. Without one, he shall come into the richest parts of the province. And he shall do what neither his fathers nor his fathers have done, scattering among them plunder, spoil, and goods. He shall devise plans against strongholds, but only for a time. And he shall stir up his power and his heart against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall wage war with an exceedingly great and mighty army. He shall not stay, a plot shall be devised against him. Even those who eat of truth shall break him. His army shall be swept away, and many shall fall down slain. And as for the two kings, their hearts shall be bent on doing evil. He shall speak lies at the same time, but to no avail, for the end is yet to be at the time appointed. And he shall return to his land with a great wealth. His heart shall be set against the holy covenant. And he shall work his will and return to his own land. At the time that he appointed, he shall return and come into the south. It shall not be this time as it was before. The ships of Canaan shall come against him, and he shall be afraid and withdraw, and shall turn back and be enraged, and take action against the holy covenant. He shall turn back and pay attention to those who forsake the holy covenant. Forces from him shall appear and profane the temple and fortress, and shall take away the regular burnt offering, and he shall set up the abomination that it makes desolate. He shall seduce with flattery those who violate the covenant. The people who know that their God shall stand firm and take action, and the wise among the people shall make many understand. Though for some days they shall mumble by sword and by flood, by captivity and plunder. And when they stumble, they shall receive a little help, and many shall join themselves to them with flattery. And some of the wise shall stumble, so that they may be refined, purified, and made wise, until the time of the end, for it still waits the appointed time. And the king shall do as he wills. He shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god. He shall speak astonishing things against the God of gods. He shall prosper till the indignation is accomplished. For what is decreed shall be done. He shall pay no attention to the gods of his fathers, nor to the one beloved by one. He shall not pay attention to any other god. Who shall magnify himself above all. He shall not honor the God of fortresses instead of these. The God whom his fathers did not know, he shall honor with gold and silver, with precious stones and costly goods. He shall deal with the strongest fortresses with the help of a foreign god. Those who acknowledge him he shall load with honor. And he shall make them rulers over many, and shall divide the land for a price. At the time of the end, the king of the south shall attack him. The king of the north shall rush upon him with like a whirlwind, with chariots and horsemen, and with many ships. And then he shall come into countries, and shall overthrow and pass through. He shall come into the glorious land, and tens of thousands shall fall, and these shall be delivered out of his hand. Edom and Moab, and the main part of the Ammonites. He shall stretch out his hand against the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. He shall become ruler of the treasures of gold and of silver, and all the precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and the Cushites shall follow in his train. But news from the east and the north shall alarm him. And he shall go out with great fury to destroy and devote many to destruction. And he shall pitch his palatial tents between the sea and the glorious holy mount. Yet he shall come to his end with none to help him. At the end time shall arise Michael, the great prince who is in charge of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never has been since there was a nation till that time. At that time the people shall be delivered. Everyone whose name shall be found written in the book, and many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall wake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the sky above, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. And any shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. And I, Daniel, looked, and behold, two others stood, one on this bank of the stream, and one on that bank of the stream. Someone said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the stream, how long shall it be till the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the stream. He raised his right hand and his left hand toward heaven, and swore by him who lives forever that it would be for a time and times and half a time, and that when the shattering of the power of the holy heap comes to an end, all these things would be finished. But I did not understand. And I said, O my Lord, what shall be the outcome of these things? And he said, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are shut up and sealed until the time of the end. Many shall purify themselves and make themselves white and be refined, but the wicked shall act wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand. Those who are what I shall understand. And upon the time that the regular burnt offering is taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, it shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he who waits and arrives at the 1,335 days. But go your way till the end, and you shall rest and shall stand in your allotted place at the end of your days. Proverbs 27. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let another praise you, and not your own mouth. A stranger, not your own lips. A stone is heavy, and sand weighs little. But a fool's provocation is heavier than both. Wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming. But who can stand before jealousy? There is open rebuke, then hidden love. Faithful are the winds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. One who is full loathes honey, but to one who is hungry, everything bitter is sweet. And like a bird that strays from a nest is a man who strays from his home. And only when perfume makes the heart glad, and the sweetness of a friend comes from your earnest counsel. Do not forsake your friend and your father's friend, and do not go to your neighbor's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor who is near than a brother who is far away. My son, be wise, my son, and make my heart glad, that I may answer him who reproaches me. Reproaches his danger and hides himself. Let the simple go on and suffer for it. Take a man's garment when he has put up security for a stranger, and hold it in pledge when he puts up security for an adulteress. Whoever blesses his neighbor with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, will be counted as cursing, a continual dripping on a rainy day, and a quarrelsome wife are alike. To restrain is to restrain the grain, or to grasp oil in one's right hand. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Whoever tends to a fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who guards his master will be honored. As in water face reflects face, so the heart of man reflects the man. Hell and abandon never satisfy, and never satisfy are the eyes of man. The crucible is for silver, and the furnace is for gold. And a man testifies his praise. Crush will fall in a mortar with a pestle, along with crushed grain. Yes, the folly will not depart from him. Know well the condition of your flocks, and give attention to your herds. For riches do not last forever, and does a crown endure to all generations? When the grass is gone and the new growth appears, and the vegetation of the mountains is gathered, the lambs will provide your clothing, and the goats with the price of the field. There will be enough goat's milk for your food, for the food of your household, and maintenance for your girls. Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. I delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant, and their faces shall never be ashamed. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him, and saved him out of his troubles. And the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Oh, fear the Lord, you his saints, for those who fear him have no lack. The young lions suffer want and hunger, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. Come, my children, listen to me. I'll teach you the fear of the Lord. What man is there who desires life and loves many days, that he may see good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Turn away from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are toward the righteous, and his ears toward their cry. The face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to cut off the memory of them who do from the earth. When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their trouble. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, and the Lord delivers them out of them all. He keeps all his bones, and not one of them is broken. Affliction will slay the wicked. Those who hate the righteous will be condemned. The Lord redeems the life of his servants. None of those who take refuge in him will be condemned. Now that's done, I should now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as you also have forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Jesus, bye.